Hello everyone, Praise Good here, and welcome back to more of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where we're actually going to be Deluxe for a change. So, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we can talk about a handful, well I think it's just one thing. We can talk about one thing added to this version of the game specifically that was not possible on the Wii U version or Mario Kart 8 base, is wireless play. This is basically local LAN play, for those of you who are older that I don't remember what LAN play is. This is LAN-based play, but online style. So basically, say several of you are in a room together and you all have your Nintendo Switches. Well, if you want to play Mario Kart, you don't have to worry about dealing with online problems. You can literally just pop into this room. Which I wonder if how much we can... Yeah, we'd have to make a room, but you can literally make a room, pop into a room, and just stand around there and communicate verbally, hey, where would you go, what you do? The amount of courses are a lot more structured in wireless play because when making the game, Nintendo realized if we're going to do this in a local play fashion, these people are going to be able to talk to each other directly and confirm or discuss where they want to go racing. So we don't need to have the roulette style of online play. And I think we're done with these little preambles specifically about like features that aren't common amongst Mario Kart as a whole. Now, before we get into this, something I want to address, because I am almost entirely certain that there's going to be one person, and I know you're out there, there's at least one person just like, oh, you're so, or in a snarky meaning, by the way, I'm not trying to say I'm awesome at this game, like, oh no, you're just so good at this game, you clearly front run every time you play race against people online. That's not true. I recently, as of the time recording, being yesterday, had the opportunity to participate in a for fun all cup tournament of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. All cups being all 24 cups that are available in the game, with a cutthroat mentality to them, in that if you play like you basically get put into two separate brackets and you can move between those two brackets depending upon how well you do in each. And if you place bottom 2 to 5 in the lower of the two brackets as you go throughout it, if you place in that lower half and get knocked out, you can get knocked out entirely. But I tell that story, and I'm going to insert probably a little clip show here of, if you think I'm just front running and doing it, and I'm just like that good, no, the AI is that bad, and B, people online are ruthless. Racing against humans is a lot different than racing against AI. And I don't think there is any way to adjust the difficulty of the AI in this. Like, AI is just going to do exactly what it's going to do constantly. Anyway, let's now move into the DLC, which as you can see right here, I have not touched. Alright, I have to do that professionalism thing and actually get myself a character. I literally just blew my nose in between episodes, and I can tell I'm already sounding like crap. No, I'm not playing another Koopaling. Not right now. I'm still thinking I played Ludwig. Let's see, 17. Oh, a baby. It's always kind of funny to me. Like, I don't think it's their own efforts, but it's kind of funny to me that, oddly enough, this is actually a pretty baller combo with lightweight characters. It's also kind of funny to me that, yes, it's Charles Martinet doing all the voices, but it is always funny to me that, or it is always like interesting that, you know, all the characters, all these characters are the characters of the babies. Like, it's the original voice actors, but they definitely like have pitch shifted it to make it sound better. There's at the time of the making of this game, Charles Martinet definitely at 65, 70 years old definitely didn't hike himself up, so in a manner of speaking, to hit those high notes to sound like a baby. It's definitely was him doing his Mario voice a little bit different, and then they pitch shifted it to sound a little more believable like a baby. Anyway, starting off with the Royal Mushroom, or yeah, I believe it's called the Royal Mushroom. But with this, we start getting introduced to Mario Kart Tour tracks. Mario Kart Tour was Nintendo trying to push forward the boundaries of Mario Kart and thinking that, hey, or trying to get in the mobile game market a lot, and Mario Kart Tour was their way to do it. And despite the fact that Fire Emblem Heroes is their moneymaker, and still is, because everyone loves to pay for PNG of waifus, Mario Kart Tour wasn't that far behind. Oh, right, shoot. Also, we're going to get into the fact that I don't know these courses as well. I do not know these courses as well because I never played Mario Kart Tour. Okay, Junior, you're getting this. Get this work. Baby on baby violence. Also, it does make you think about this a little bit in that. Well, actually, I'll talk about that in a moment. So what makes Tour so different and more unique and all this jazz? Like, why Tour? Like, why Tour like it is? Oh, Baby Peach is my rival currently? Okay, fair enough. And that's why I swing wide when somebody's holding an item. So in Tour, even though it's not going to show it so far right out the gate here in Paris Promenade, as you go throughout the course, the direction or the course, what do you call it? The track direction changes. Paris Promenade is probably the buffer to all this because there is no real change in the course layout on the first 2 laps. I guess I could have taken a sharp left up at that before the roundabout here, but I decided not to. But I think it's right about here. No, it's not here. I think it's not in the next lap actually. Tour's gimmick was that tracks were different, so to capture that essence in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they made it so that at least one lap of a track is completely different from the other tracks. Also, you can cross over with other racers at this point. I did not know that. And I still am going the most boring of paths. Some things never change. I totally whiffed that. So yeah, that's the draw of most of the Tour tracks. Is like they're different. I think they change. I think the like the direction of the track changes on the daily, or they changes like from day to day. So that way you're never really playing a different track. You're never really playing the same track. Anyway, hold this. I actually hit her. I'm a little upset. Yeah, so that's Tour. I personally have never played Tour, although I heard about although I am privy to some of the weird intricacies, we'll say, of Tour. Sorry, I'm like doing 2 things at once. No, I'm not going to do that. Not that close. We'll see what that one is later. Toad Circuit, what you start off with in Mario Kart 7. But I am aware of some of the intricacies of Mario Kart Tour, in that there's a roulette system for items. Like, you can get 3 items at a time in that game? Something like that? And if you get 3 of the same item, you can just spam that item for a full 10 seconds, no stop. So it could be 3 super mushrooms. You basically have super mushrooms for 10 seconds straight, like a royal mushroom. You can get 3 red shells. You can get 3 red shells. It doesn't act like a triple red shell, so you basically can spam red shells for 10 seconds without stop. Wendy, if you cross my path again, I will hit you. It's just stuff like that. You can get 3 lightning bolts in a row and spam lightning for 10 seconds straight. You can get 3 blue shells and spam blue shells for 10 seconds straight. Yeah. Anyway, Toad Circuit for after lap 1. that little ramp pops up to basically give you your first taste of hang gliding in the games. Wendy, I'm mad. No. Bring that bow back here. Okay, go. Thanks for just taking the fall from me. Joik. So, but yeah, that's just, I don't know. I heard about the absurdity of Tour in that aspect, but I've never experienced it firsthand. And I cannot give you there's a green shot bouncing around behind me. I cannot give you like a proper retrospective on what Tour is like, so. All I can tell you is things I've seen about in news articles and what I've heard secondhand. Like the $40 Diddy Kong pack. Pay $40 for a phone game, and you get to race as Diddy Kong in a game where you have barely any interaction with the game. Yeah, you can tell my perception of Tour is not the highest. I don't exactly give it the highest of marks, you know. Anyway, so Choco Mountain. This remake of Choco Mountain, I guess it looks a lot better and actually incorporates some things that you would think would be, I don't know, kind of like a desolate wasteland mountain of sort. There's a lot of details added to this from the N64 version that do make this one feel a lot more alive. But it's still the Choco Mountain that most people know and love. Also has this lovely campy harmonica tune bumping. Really? My first item was a coin, and that's what you get? Alright, Bernie. Alright, I see you. I'm well aware of you. But anyway, as I get my saltiness out of my system for half a minute, one of the large things about this, oh boy, that could have been bad. A big thing about this, about these cups here is, again, I haven't played a lot of them, so my perception on what is the optimal route is way skewed. I'm not actually, but I'm almost playing most of these tracks blind. So I don't know the optimal path, and people will see me take the slowest path possible just because of the fact I don't know what the optimal path is. Alright, take me, Shell Daddy. And somehow still semi-front running. Like, this little hang glide segment is the only thing added to this remake. Otherwise, this is exactly this level is exactly the same way as it was the N64. There's no weird little oddities here and there. It is literally the exact same thing, point for point. I guess minus the little trick parts at the end here. Oh, I thought it was the last lap. Well, don't I have egg on my face? Actually, no, I have bananas on my butt. Yeah, I got nothing else to add to this. Like, it's like, I guess when it comes to Mario Kart 64, I like Choco Mountain. It wasn't a bad course, but I'm not sure if I would pick that over something like DK Jungle, actually, from since the N64 game, or what was it? Wario Stadium, actually. But then again, I think I just, for some reason, minus the Wario Stadium from the DS game, I think I just have a fascination with all the Wario tracks across the series. Speaking of, is he here? Nope. Waluigi's here, but Wario's not here. That's another thing I guess I'll talk about. I could have actually kept this going because I did my generation for the next cup, but I didn't like. I decided to veto what it gave me because it was literally going to give me Baby Luigi, and I don't think I want to have just the baby brawls. Baby fights! Ah, Coconut Mall, but it never starts. If you ever want... Sorry to anybody who actually does suffer from anxiety attacks, but if you ever want an anxiety attack, go ahead and look up that video title. Coconut Mall, but it never starts. It is like a 10-minute video of this track, but the actual like start of it never happens. And you'll know what I mean by actual start of it. Yeah, that triangle never comes in. It just keeps repeating that same, like, the same opening 3 to 4 bars of music. So, there are a lot of baby characters in this game. Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy. Which, Baby Daisy's a little egregious, but like I'm not against it. And then Baby Rosalina, somebody who has not even remotely, should not even have any possible representation in this game. Baby Rosalina should never exist at all. And a handful of my friends like to race as Baby Rosalina just to instill that ire in the world. Like how I like to race as Peach Online. Like how I like to race as Peach Online just to instill that ancient hatred in people from their heydays. Some people play Baby Rosalina just to instill that same hatred. That's a joke. That's a bit. I know it's not the actual reason. But I'm not far off the mark when I say that. Anyway, hold that. I'm going to grab with this. If you have a mushroom, actually, you can cut across that major parking lot area on the right there. And fly over to roughly where those Shy Guys are doing burnouts. And take a shortcut that way. That's like one of the major... That's like I think other than this store on the right here, that's like the only real shortcut in Coconut Mall. At least in this iteration of it. Anyway, taking a move a little too sharp. That's probably not going to go get near anybody. But because it came up, because it actually did come up a little bit, I do want to mention, because we will probably not see a Super Horn for a long time before I forget about this. So in that tournament that I mentioned previously in this episode, I got really good at using the Super Horn. Because, you know, I would be in 3rd or 4th place and it would give me the Super Horn. And it's like, I'm going to lock down 3rd or 4th place. So I got really good at looking behind me, waiting until somebody was just within striking distance, and it was great. I got a lot of hatred and ire. Somebody called me something that I probably shouldn't. Oh, that was in the cup. I got called a handful of things that I can't really repeat on recordings. We had the revel in that one, huh? Wait, that actually hits. That actually hit Lakitu. That's a little upsetting. So yeah, like there's gonna be but as you can kind of tell the flow, there's gonna be a handful of courses here that, not all of them, but there's gonna be a handful of courses here in this DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically that I don't know, just because I never played Tour and I never invested a lot of time. I haven't invested a lot of time into excuse me, into racing on these courses in my own time. Also, just a disclaimer, I am still fighting sick. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna just record a couple episodes and call it a day, or if I'm gonna just try to do all of these today. 34. Well, if you're 32, we just got done racing as him the other day. I just raced it as them. Okay, a DLC character, Wiggler. I think Wiggler's a heavyweight. Oh yeah, that's heavyweight stats. So let's make it. It's kind of fitting. Let's put you in the Bitty Buggy. Also, I should say, because I just went over. If you ever see any of these things here in a mouse through, it's like, hey, that's a question mark. Why is that a question mark? It's because that's the golden variation of this stuff. So I don't have golden tires available to me. Yeah, I do not have golden tires available to me, and I don't have the golden card available to me either. And I forget exactly how you unlock those two things. I don't know if it's if you oh hey, 2 awesome tracks in this one. Actually this whole cup is a banger. I don't know. I don't know if one of the golden items is by getting a certain amount of virtual ranking in the online play, and one of them is getting a certain amount of coins, which I'm almost at 10,000 coins, so maybe we'll see it throughout the series. But yeah, the golden items are just recolors of like the base items you get in the game, like the first things you have available to you to race with. They're just recolors of those, but they're trophies to say, hey, you've played this game a really long time, maybe go touch grass. Anyway, Amsterdam something. It's in the timestamps. This track is actually a really good, like, it's, I'm gonna say about a lot of stuff, but this is actually a really good track. Like, really good track. The music's amazing. The elements that they pull from other courses featured in Mario Kart 8 as a whole are put together well here. And again, this is from Tour, so we're gonna see a lot of things. Also, racing as Wiggler. I'm not racing as Wiggler in this game. But Wiggler's trademark of short temper is here in spades. So if I do get hit by something, Wiggler will develop a short temper. It won't last forever like other games. Anyway, we're going into the ductwork. That was actually a chance to jump. Anytime there's a disturbance in the road, you can jump. Hey, I'm way up here now. But yeah, but again, this is a tour track, and this is of the tour tracks. This is probably the one I have raced on the most. Even though, like I said, I have never played tour, and I don't have a lot of time, and I don't have have not invested a lot of time into playing this game, just in my own time. Maybe other than the first pack of courses that came out with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, the booster courses. Wah-ha-ha-ha! Hey, how's it going? Hi, everybody. I'm racing against you now. You never have this crossover when you're racing against human players because everyone's is close to pretty close to each other. Anyway, the fields of Amsterdam, which I've been told by a handful of friends who either visited or, goddammit, who have either visited Amsterdam or lived near the area, that this is very factually incorrect area or topographically, so to say. Like, there is no field of daisies you drive through or field of tulips. It's like a stereotype of the Amsterdam area or the Dutch area. I'm gonna say a stereotype of the Dutch area. My world geography, terrible. Okay, that should be different enough. I can work with that, as long as I haven't played as them before. I'm generating my character for the next video already. Okay, so this one was a weird sleeper choice out of the whole like DLC boost courses, which I could probably talk about that a little more. Hopefully, before this is all over. Riverside Park. This is the Game Boy Advance track, and everything in the Game Boy Advance is like super flat. There are no hills or anything. So that's one thing, is that like these retro tracks in the GBA courses, or from the GBA game, are made way more vibrant in this booster the booster course pack. Which, hey, the booster course pack. So for anybody paying attention to me and not the fact that I'm not able to keep track of things at home or structure my sentences properly for everybody else, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, when it first came out, came with the only thing new added to it. The only thing added new to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on launch was restructured battle mode and Inkling. Meaning everything that I did that I said, hey, this is DLC for Mario Kart 8 base, that was in base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So doing the math, which means a lot of us, and you, the viewer, might possibly also be guilty of this. A lot of us have committed a atrocity of spending. Well, let's see. I gotta remember numbers. Spending $270 on a Wii U. Damn it! I'm spending $200. Oh, I lost all my items. I'm spending $250 on a Wii U. $60 on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, worth of $310 roughly. I am going to. No, I'm after you. You see how Wiggler's fuming? That's me right now. But yeah, like oh, by the way, if you hit the piranha plants with an item or with a shell, you can steal, or with a boost, or sorry, with a super mushroom boost or a shell, you can steal their mushroom. If they have mushroom or any other item they're holding. But yeah, so yeah, then you paid $60 for Mario Kart 8. Okay, we're kind of high up in numbers here, aren't we? And then you spend another. I gotta think about this. And then you spent $20, or I think it became $24 if you didn't pre-order it, on the 4 cups added in Mario Kart 8 base. Okay, Well, now we're somewhere in the realm of, I'm just going to say $300. We're somewhere in the realm of $300 on Mario Kart 8. And then you bought a Nintendo Switch because it was the next Nintendo thing. Okay, well, there's another $300. So you're up to $600. We'll say $620 for taxes. I'm operating all in USD, by the way. So my apologies if you need to do the conversion. Pull up another tab and do conversions for your own region's monetary value. That's the first time I've skipped the intro. Thank God it was almost, I think I was right at the end. And then you paid another 60, not 40, 60 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $10 for arguably $10 worth of work. And then you paid another, I think it was 40 at the end of the day. So we're up to 680 before I move on. I'm going to say 30, even though I think it might have been 40. So you paid another 30. You paid another 30 to get all these DLC courses, and again, it might be more. So bare minimum, and it could have been more. Bare minimum, you have spent to enjoy everything that's in Mario Kart, at least up to this point, at least up to what the series will cover. You have spent bare minimum $710 on Mario Kart. I'll let that sink in for a minute. And now that the sink's inside, have you thought about that a little bit clearer? God, it's such a stupid wordplay joke. But the thing is, and this is me also like playing devil's advocate, you know, playing both sides of the field. Here's the other side of it, is that's $710 over the span of 13 years? I'm going to say 13 years. No, Wii U. Over the span of 15 years, if not 16 years, which isn't that bad. Like, this is not me making money making or saving advice, by the way. I'm not a very wise man with money. Like, if I have excess money, I find ways to spend that excess money as long as I don't go into debt. I am that kind of person. Do not give me your financial trust. But I'm somebody who has said and has on record varied time where it's just like, if something like, I guess for the Nintendo Online service, which I'm not going to put that into the numbers. Like the Nintendo Online services, or Nintendo Switch Online services, you know, that is, for most people, that's $20 a year. If you're somebody, oh boy, there goes everything. If you're somebody who has complained about the fact that Nintendo started charging for online for $20 a year, and you make that your biggest focal talking point, that, oh my god, I can't believe I spent $20 a year on this. This is robbery. If $20 a year is causing you to fret over your spending and budgeting, you have bigger problems to worry about. Rough math, not the exact number. You're basically complaining that every month you can't buy a candy bar, otherwise you will go bankrupt. I think you got bigger things to worry about than $20 a year, if this is the correct case. Anyway, Yoshi's Island. So you know how we had the Hyrule Circuit, and then we had Village Town or Animal Crossing Town, or whatever you want to call it? You know how those courses were like big... I've never heard that. You know how those had like big redesigns and everything? It was just like the coolest thing ever in this? That's this, but for Yoshi. Actually, a time of recording. Oh yeah, a time of recording. It's still going up, even though I recorded that like 5. Was it 5 years ago? Might have been. Super Mario Advance 3 is currently being uploaded on Sundays. So like, it's at least in terms of my timeline, this course and what's currently going up on Sundays is really closely correlated. But everything going on here is themed after Yoshi's Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Trying to hit the... I didn't hit the thing. You want to try and hit that cloud coming off the ramp, because that actually does give you a shortcut. Granted, a lot of other people can take the same shortcut, but it does give you a shortcut. But anyway, if you like Super Mario Advance 3, Super Mario World 2, however you want to look at it, if you like that game, everything about this should just make you happy. Even the piranha plants make the weird chomping sound from that game. Ah! Like the coins make the noises. I don't think there's red coins in here at all, so we don't have that. But yeah, we don't have the weird red coin noises. We don't have red coins, so we can't have fun with that. But, like, you basically racing across the entirety of the overworld of Yoshi's Island. So, like, we're in World 6 right now. Or no, World 7, excuse me. There's Blarg out there. I cannot hit that secret cloud. But, like, basically, if you like Super Mario World 2, you'll love this course. And there's a nice little touch at the end that kind of shows the attention to detail they gave this course. Amongst many other things around here. There's a nice little attention to detail coming up with this near the end. Also, it kind of gives an idea of how, you know, what would have happened. Trying to think about this in the best way possible. What the soundtrack to Yoshi's Island would have sounded like if it was ever released in current times, and what the music would have sounded like. Am I gonna hit this time? I can. I hit it! And that's why you want to aim for that cloud whenever you can, because it makes this bridge. It has this little jump at the end. And finish. Yep, it even gives you the fanfare from finishing a level from Yoshi's Island. So for like a track that's retooled to capture the essence of another series, even though it's an in-house Nintendo series, it's still wonderful. Everyone fell in love with this course, like, immediately. Much like with the Animal Crossing course, everyone fell in love with this course immediately. And it kind of does show the fact that when Nintendo want to, and do put their minds to it, they can really show a lot of love and tribute to a series that is either thought long dead, or people think they don't care about. Really? DK Mountain? The track where I talked about poor financial decisions is where we're going to have the highlight reel? Sure, why not? Now, I gotta remember roughly where it is, because I did talk about some of the DLC characters for this game, and I don't think they'll start appearing until we got to the last 4 cups of the game, or the last 2 bundles of DLC tracks. It is fun to play as Wiggler again. Actually, thinking about that, I think the only I'm talking about like home releases. I know there's like arcade releases with Mario Kart GP that has a character that no one will probably have ever seen of effectively Robot Mario. But I think the only characters that have not made a returning appearance in Mario Kart with this game and all of its DLC is Rob and Queen Bee. Those are the only 2 non-returning characters. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And okay, I thought I was gonna do the whole credits thing. Come back next time and we'll dive more into the next wave of. We're gonna dive into the waves of DLC, and I'll try and remember my timeline on DLC character releases. Anyway, I'll see you folks next time. Take care.